Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Performance on Wheels. Today is video number 3 on the Audi A8L 4-liter turbo, and upgrade number 1 is in the books.
As promised, guys, we are going to do some performance mods to that 4-liter twin turbo platform, and today we share what we feel is that first step you need to take if you as well are thinking about not only joining the 4-liter twin turbo platform, but also modifications.
When we talk about performance, the Audi A8L in its stock form surprisingly is very similar to a new two-door sports car that is on the market right now that you actually used to own.
I did used to own it, and this is kind of fun, right? Two completely different cars.
Very different.
But people would think, why does anyone that likes performance, why would they consider this 17-foot long vehicle that's used as a limousine, that has massaging seats at all 4 corners, why would you even remotely think this is a performance car that you can have fun with?
Because almost every single one of the performance numbers this car puts out is identical to a Dodge Challenger SRT Scat Pack.
Yeah, so the Dodge Challenger that has the 392 in it, and we're actually holding our phones here because we're going to go down the list, and this is based on Motor Trend of the same model years. I think it was 2014. This is a 15. It's got the facelift, obviously. But this is a 2015 4-liter twin turbo. That's what's going to be coming out of my mouth. And Austin is going to be talking about the same model year Dodge Challenger 392. So 0 to 60 time, 4.2 seconds.
My 0 to 60 time, 4.2 seconds.
Quarter mile time, 12.6 seconds at 110 miles per hour.
Quarter mile time, 12.6 seconds at 112.3 miles an hour.
Braking, 60 to 0 and 111 feet.
Braking, 60 to 0, 108 feet.
And then obviously when we start talking about slalom and actual grip, because of the platform, the wheel length, as well as the weight difference, this is where the Challenger has some benefits. So the lateral acceleration in G's is 0.883 for the A8.
0.89 for the Challenger.
In Motor Trend's Figure 8 test, the A8 goes around it in 26.3 seconds.
And the Challenger does it in 25.5.
Now, I don't know if you can find this on your phone quick enough, but I wanted to share the curb weight difference because I think that is pretty killer. So the Audi A8 has a curb weight of 4,635 pounds. I actually have the Challenger pulled up here, I believe. Let me get to it.
4,240.
Yeah, so we're like 400-pound difference. So the A8 weighs 400 pounds more. The performance numbers are almost literally spot on when it comes to acceleration. It's close when it comes to grip, but obviously the Challenger is better in that regards. But we haven't released the secret sauce, and that's what we're going to start talking about in the video.
That secret sauce being the DS1 tune that this Audi has. Now, when we talk about trims, the next step up from the Scat Pack is, well, the Hellcat.
It sure is.
The cream of the crop. Of course, there's the red eye and all that stuff after that, but we're talking about the Hellcat. 707 horsepower, 6.2 liter, supercharged V8,
yes.
An insane performance monster. Now, you said with the DS1 tune, our quarter mile comes down to what?
So just the stage 1 tune, you can expect, every car is going to act a little bit different, but you can expect high 11 second quarter mile with trap speeds around 120.
Interesting, because on the Hellcat, we have mid 11s quarter mile with a trap speed about 125. So we are now in Hellcat territory on this massive, luxurious land yacht. Of course, we, again, don't have the performance numbers when it comes into handling and corners. But when we are talking about pure straight line acceleration, the Audi A8 with the 4-liter turbo is no slouch by any means at all, and that DS1 tune truly does make a difference.
So guys, we're going to start to unpack why I chose the DS1, what the other big competitor is on the market to the DS1, the reliability issues I've had with DS1 for about 5,000 miles that it's been on the car now, and kind of that whole process, just a general overview of actually putting the tune onto your car, and then we'll wrap things up and tell you what's next. So the main players when it comes to the 4-liter twin turbo, when you're talking about stage 1 tunes, there are a handful out there, but I think the two that are mentioned the most, whether you're looking at forums, whether in Facebook groups, is either APR or DS1. I believe it was around 2020 that DS1 was introduced to this platform, and it's hands down like everyone's go-to tune, and there's a few reasons why. APR, you can get that stage 1 tune, which that's all it becomes, is a stage 1 tune for about $800. The DS1 will cost you right around $1,300, but here is the kicker. The DS1 tune is capable of also providing you with a stage 2, a stage 3, or completely customizable tunes if you have specific items that you're upgrading on the car, or if you're going after something specific. It's all yours to do. Some things to note there. With DS1 is it is car specific. It's one and done. Once you install it in that car, it stays with the car, and even if you bring that car back to the stock ECU, that DS1 unit is donezo. So ultimately, you have a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of people out there that say, I will never go beyond stage 1, so why would I spend the extra $400 or $500? Because if you're doing a stage 1 mod, you're gonna do an air intake, which, pretty awesome on an A8. The only thing that is needed to put a stage 2 tune on with the DS1 is bigger air intakes, which is pretty gnarly, right?
So is that a hint at what video might be coming here in the future?
There might be a slight hint that there could be a stage 2 coming, and we'll kind of unpack the difference from stock to stage 1 to stage 2. It really matters what you guys do during this video as far as that subscribe and that like button with how crazy we get on the A8, bigger wheels, suspension, giving you some...
All right, they get it. What has it been like on a day-to-day basis having a stock A8L versus one with that DS1 tune on it?
Let me tell you all about it. So this is what showed up in the mail, right? We got this fun little box that fits in my pocket, and it even fits. I think the engineers from Audi knew that DS1 was going to bring this amazing tuner to the market, because right in the glove box, it just slides in there perfectly, and that's where it lives.
That's 100% what they were doing.
That is totally what they were doing, but that box is pretty much useless at the end of the day, because all of the brain power is in this fun little OBD2 plug-in that then either connects to your phone or a laptop, as long as you have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capability.
Does it connect to Apple as well, or just Android?
I do think it's Apple, but cool. I don't use Apple, so you're talking Japanese to me.
Comment down below if you guys know the answer to that.
For sure. So this is it. It gets power from the car, obviously, and then it's all about Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to go from there. So I put this into the car. I figured out from my Android cell phone how to load that stage 1 tune. This is very archaic, so just a lot of words, nothing flashy about the software. DS1 on their website has some great information. As long as you take the time to read through it and read through the steps, you will have full confidence in how to do this yourself, and it'll be very easy to do. But a lot of words are involved. You do need to make sure you have a very strong Wi-Fi or cellular signal to even do this. And the cool thing is the tuner won't let you proceed if that signal is not strong enough. So again, they're thinking about everything. Really well done. It does become a little bit freaky. Your heart gets going a little bit as the tuner is rewriting the scripts on your computer, because every light is going off, and you'll see systems turning on and systems turning off, and it's a process that goes on for a few minutes, and even when all the systems calm down, there's still some rewriting that's occurring. So I would say in total, expect to sit there for up to 5 minutes, again, kind of depending on your Wi-Fi or cellular signal. But here's what I can tell you. Immediately before putting the tune on a hot summer day, about 90 degrees, obviously it wasn't today because we are in coming into winter garb here in Minnesota, and got done with some yard work prior to making this video. But here's what I can tell you. after putting the tune on, and before putting the tune on, I used a draggy to go check my 0 to 60 times. After the tune was on, 4.2 seconds with not trying, just one run, very minimal brake boosting, 4.28 seconds, which was exactly a half a second faster than with no tune. So right out of the box, 0 to 60 times increased by half a second. If you tracked Austin's previous comment about quarter mile times, it was right around a half a second as well, a little more than a half a second, but your trap speed obviously goes up significantly with that as well. So, horsepower and torque, what are the expectations there? I'm sure you're asking yourself, and every car, again, could be slightly different, so that's why I'm just giving generals here, and I want to make sure that I'm writing down my notes correctly. So I think it's right at 100 horsepower to the wheels, where the expectation should be, which that's pretty huge, right?
Yeah, that's a very large amount.
And also, the real kicker here is 180 pound-feet of torque.
That's very tremendous. Right? And what I think, based on riding in it, when I noticed the biggest difference, the feeling in my chest, is doing it from a roll. Getting on it from a roll.
Yes.
It gets down and it boogies. It goes hard. It's a lot of fun to drive. And it added a lot to the car. I do believe that the $1,300 is well worth it when it comes to an overall driving experience. And then that $1,300 also, if you guys want to go to the next step, you have the capabilities of doing so because you spent the money beforehand. And then you also have just a reliable platform that there's a lot of knowledgeable people behind that use this in a lot of different vehicles. So I overall think that the DS1 tune is a pretty solid choice. And being that we're at 5,000 miles of this tune being on the car, and there has not been a singular reliability issue that has anything to do that is related to it, I think it's a great buy.
It absolutely is. The car acts completely factory.
Yep.
There's no like weird glitches or RPM.
It shifts fine. It doesn't shift hard. It doesn't randomly have boost spurges at different RPM levels, which I've had with previous tunes on cars. And it's just absolutely flawless. They do a great job of writing the script for this tune and programming the computer. I think it is a great purchase. I'm very happy with it, and I haven't had the opportunity to experience it as much as you even.
Right, so you brought up two excellent points that I think will be important for you guys too to understand the experience. So yes, that out of the hole, that dig, that's cool and everything, but it really is the showstopper or puts a smile on your face when you're at a roll and you kick it down.
Yeah, and you've blown the doors off of a few cars now that were totally unexpecting it, and the wheels are, they're not helping the car's sleeper status. I mean, it's a sleeper with those wheels on it, that's for sure.
It certainly is, yeah. But I can tell you, I don't know that I recall a car that I've owned that at 60, 70, 80 miles per hour, it feels like the car is just getting started on the power curve, right? So you're feeling like additional torque, like when you're already going that fast.
It pulls really hard. It's pretty impressive. We'll have a video coming next spring of my Corvette Z06 just playing around with this thing. Just for an example, I wanted to do this for this video, but you weren't feeling it and it's kind of cold out. But I have a 405 horsepower, probably 430 with some of the stuff that's done to it. 430 horsepower Corvette, weighs 3,000 pounds or so, 6-speed manual. The car is pretty quick. Mm-hmm. It's not slow by any means. It keeps up with a lot of stuff. And from a roll, this thing pulls on it. Yep. And it pulls pretty good. And this, I mean, it's a land yacht. It's
1,600 pounds more.
And it no joke, is probably 3.5 feet, 4 feet longer than my Corvette.
Right. It's really serious. The other point I want to bring up just before I forget, or two points. On the A8, when you have a tuned car, how do I know if my car's tuned? I just bought a used Audi, and you can see here on this quick clip that as the car's warming up, on all of them, the RPMs stay nice and low, but a tuned car is going to be unlocked up to 7,000 RPMs. From the factory, I think it's right around 6. So if you're in an A8 specifically, and you see once the car gets up to temp, that RPM gauge, the little red lines, go all the way up to 7,000 RPMs, you know the car's got a tune on it. Right?
Awesome.
Well, I think that thing.
Oh, sorry.
One more thing quick. that doesn't get tuned by DS1. It's a different tune that is needed is the transmission tune, right? So even though that RPM is unlocked from a engine tuning standpoint, it is not unlocked from a transmission tuning standpoint.
Okay.
So that is a different tune that is needed as far as your shift points and whatnot. So the transmission is still acting as if the car isn't necessarily tuned.
I think that pretty much sums up everything that you wanted to touch on, doesn't it?
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the video about the tunes. So tuning in to the tunes, it's kind of fun.
Tuning.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any comments, questions, anything like that, be sure to put them down below. We'll put a link to the DS1 tune in the description. And if you like he's brought up earlier, if you guys want to see more content on this, show us the love. Comment below, hit like, hit subscribe. We will come out with content.
We might have some videos coming up here very quickly on some control arm replacement because I'm starting to get a little noise. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. See you soon.